Back with you once again. This young man's name is Bill Forsche. He's a makeup artist. But you just don't become a makeup artist. Tell me what happened. How did, you know, you're really not that old. How did you get so much experience?
Well, when I was 6 years old, I really remember Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein with Boris Karloff. And not only the idea of this monster creation that he was actually a monster maker.
Sure.
But he did it very technically, like a doctor would do. And this always fascinated me. Who were the people that actually made these monsters? Where did they come from? So I did a little studying and found out that they were actually made by makeup artists.
Okay.
And so I started practicing the craft with just materials I had around the house. Like I made a paper mache Frankenstein head as one of my first things, and it was really interesting. It was fun to change my face.
And then you went from there to a movie maker Bill Rebane,
who's in northern Wisconsin, and you actually helped tip my mother his location. I was in California, and she actually heard of this film producer in northern Wisconsin, and you called back with the information. I went and contacted him and was working there a week later.
Is that right?
And so that was my really first big break.
He was an interesting man. What was the movie that he did with Karen McDermott?
Well, I know he did Giant Spider Invasion, which was pretty big. And then he also did The Capture of Bigfoot.
I think that The Thing in the Swamp or something.
And then there was Rana, Creature of the Swamp.
Okay, that's what it was. Rana, Creature of the Swamp.
These were all Academy Award winners.
Yeah, absolutely. Horror movies really come into its own here the last 8 or 9 years. I think probably Vincent Price is probably one of the most important people as far as bringing it into focus, isn't he?
He's definitely one of the major. I can't even tell you how many films he's been in, but you know, as I do, that he's been a veteran for how many years. He's in his, like, 78 years old right now.
And you worked on him.
Yes, I did.
We have some video before we go any further. Let's go to that video now, and maybe, Bill, you can tell us what we're seeing here, okay? Show you what this young man's been doing for the last 10 or 12. Now, what's going on?
Now, this is me. This is...
in the costume?
In the costume. Now, sometimes I get to actually play the creatures that I help create. Now, this is for The Howling Part 4.
Okay.
Which you might remember the first Howling had a werewolf in it, and I played the final werewolf in The Howling 4. Okay. Now, this was all filmed in Africa, which was an interesting experience for me. This is all me doing these incredible gags.
Are you crazy?
And this was summertime in the heat, and the costume, and also the fire. So
listen, I'd have known you anywhere, Bill.
This is going to make me to the top, right?
That's fantastic. How long does it take to put something like that together?
To actually get into the costume takes over an hour. And that was custom constructed for me. And they spent about $75,000 on the costume itself.
That is unbelievable. You don't get hooked into this stuff.
Well,
I mean, you know, you don't start believing the stuff after a while, do you?
No. This is just to scare the kids and sometimes myself.
I'll bet it does. I'll bet. Okay,
now this is myself as well. This is for a film called Night Angel, and Steve Johnson, they're a very talented makeup artist, is making me up.
Latex is what they use most of the time.
This is foam latex, and what's interesting about this is it covers my eyes. I was totally blind for 14 hours, and it had air bladders underneath, which could actually bulge out and make my eyes look like they're popping out of my socket. So, so this is my next big break into film industry.
That is now, what is the name of this movie?
This film's called Night Angel. I have no idea on a release date, but it is finished with completing the film.
What does your ma think when she sees something like this? Your dad?
Well, I don't know. My father's more squeamish than my mother. My mother will actually go see a film that I've worked on. My father, no way. It scares him.
Oh, yes. There's my boy.
There's my son. She'll stand up in the theater and embarrass me.
That is well. How technical is, obviously it seems to be very technical. What kind of schooling do you need, or is it just hands-on?
What kind of schooling? It's more or less hands-on, but there's a little bit of chemistry involved.
Look at those eyes.
There's technical work. It's really becoming more and more difficult because the viewers are very discriminating. The more effects that they're used to. I mean, they go to a film after Star Wars came along, and they're getting more and more used to all these different effects. Now, this is Freddy Krueger's Stuntman, which was used in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. And there's the real Freddy in the background. And what was interesting about this is we had to make him up to actually withstand water. He was underneath a lot of water in a waterbed, and he comes through the waterbed and actually attacks one of the young kids in the film.
Comes through the waterbed?
Yeah. It's one of those dream sequences, and it was interesting. So the makeup had to withstand being underneath the water for several hours.
Do you go to movies, other horror movies that you have nothing to do with, and sort of pick them apart sometimes?
I try, exactly. If it's really noticeable, yes. I try not to. I try to enjoy the film first, and then if I want to look at it technically, I'll try to either rent it or try to watch it a second time.
What's going on?
This is the set on Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and it's really interesting, all the different sets that are created and how it looks from behind the scenes, just as like a news show would be from behind the scenes. There's the Freddy fogger, an actual fog machine. And here's a sequence where Freddy Krueger isn't really even involved, and I play Freddy Krueger's left hand. There's me.
You play
and I'm his left-hand man. You just never know. This is an interesting job. You never know what you're going to do each day.
Now, not only are you into makeup, doing this, putting this on other people and helping put it on yourself, but you're also into acting, I understand, too.
Yes, I am. I always was involved with acting, and I find that making your own face up, even when I was a youngster, was a wonderful attribute if you're shy. I was a very shy young child.
So you can hide behind something, sure.
I could change my face, and if I want to play a character, you know, all I have to do is change my face, and I can act like that character, and it was really fun for me.
Oh, there's where he's pulling that poor gal into the water.
Yeah, exactly. There.
You realize now when I get my waterbed tonight, I'm going to check.
You're going to look underneath the sheets.
That is spooky. Do you go see the movies when they're all done?
Oh, absolutely.
You
well,
do?
we get a casting crew screening, so we don't have to pay.
Oh, you do? Okay.
We usually don't get popcorn. I have to protest against that, but other than that, I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun for me.
Now, they're thinking of making a movie, or I guess they're going to make a movie in the Valley. Tell us about that.
Right. It's called Meet the Applegates. I really don't know a lot about it. I have to finish reading the script. New World Pictures is doing it, and I'll be talking with the directors and producers.
Who are the Applegates? Somebody we know, or?
You will know. They're no one you know now. Stockard Channing is in one of the lead roles.
Okay.
They're considering John Lithgow or Rick Moranis for one of the others, and possibly Grace Jones.
You worked with Patrick Swayze. Tell us about that movie.
It's a film called Roadhouse, and there's a little bit of dancing involved with that. And they were filming down the street from Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 4. So I knew the casting director, and she said, "You would be perfect for this dance sequence. Come on by next week." And sure enough, I got to be in the film with Patrick Swayze. Made my mother very happy.
That's fantastic. He's quite an actor.
He's a very, very good actor and a very nice man.
You were very lucky. You quit school.
No, kids don't try this at home, right?
Very, very lucky, yeah. But you finished now. You've got your degree and everything, right?
Yeah.
Good man. Good man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bill Forsche. And this is our friend Freddie. I mean, that's bad-looking stuff, but I guess that's a compliment to you, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Thank you, Bill. We'll have more of the noon show, won't we, Freddie? In just a moment. Stay with us.